And
So my buddy was telling me about this horrible date he went on, and they're about halfway through, and he's sitting there and he got his arm around her. Things seem to be going well, and finally she goes, "Oh, I guess I should probably tell you. You realize I am an escort, right?" And he's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm an escort. So, I mean, you've got my time, and it's gonna cost about $100 if you want anything else." So he's just like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." It's like, "You could have told me that at the beginning." She's like, "Yeah, well, if you want anything, it's $100." So gives her $100. Apparently, they go out and they have some fun. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, that was good." She's like, "Yeah. So can I get a can I go home now?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure." Oh crap! I should have told you. I'm actually a taxi driver, and it's going to cost you $120 for me to take you back to the city and get you home. Roll that footage.
Fab Studios presents Figure Action. That one's me.
Maybe I should have stuck with the bridge joke.
Yeah, oh God. Well, we want to start off on a light note anyway. What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday. If you're watching us here live, well, thank you very much. We love all of you guys that tune in and gals that tune in each and every week to watch us. We already got some cool people hanging out in the chat already. Got Winston, Aquatechy, Toy Mafia, TF Hustler, Princeton Phalanx. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And if you're watching us live and you haven't before, we got a live chat over here. Pop right in. We'll be highlighting your comments, talking and interacting with y'all throughout the course of the show. Make sure you slam that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and also check the link in the description below. We've got the link to our Teespring store. We've got some of the best priced geek podcasting merch out there. You're gonna look good. You're gonna help out our channel and look good doing it. Anyway, we got quite a bit to talk about tonight, so let's find out how everybody's doing. Starting off with Trustarscreamer. I see you already have that jab in there, but how are you? And what cool things did you get this week?
Oh, well, let's see now where to start. Since for regular users of the show, I'm sure you all want to know. They finally buried in the trench in my front yard, so the sewage ejection pump has been re-leveled, has been 90% buried. It has been, as far as inspection goes, they have to rerun the electricity, and that is going to be on Roto-Rooter's dime, not mine. So, after a year plus,
down a drain.
Oh, it's getting the express shunted out, man. Forget the drain, man. It goes into the pump and it just gets let out like a potato cannon. But it's hopefully finally wrapping up. I did get not a lot of stuff, but I did get a few things, some very anticipated things actually. One, I got something really stupid for my photography, but it's pretty cool. And I can also use this with around the house testing for leaks. This is called a smoke pencil, and it uses fog juice, so it's literally a little portable fog machine. That's all water based, so I can use that. I'm gonna be using some of that with my photography.
Fog juice.
Yeah. For those who actually remember that I attempted to have a YouTube channel, I put a review up this week. I know. And I put probably, I can't say figure of the year, but I can say probably the most fun thing I have bought all year. And that is my Mr. G my Memory Studios Mr. G karate version. Goddamn. I love this thing. Again, if you want my full review after the show, it's about a good 18 minutes. I have a nice little breakdown of this guy, but I can say if you want a gorilla who's a member of Cobra who practices karate with the greatest side-eye expression ever, I cannot recommend this higher.
It's a eat your heart out Todd look.
This is honestly, yeah. This is a side eye with smoldering and all the look. And like I said, I do a full detailed breakdown of everything I love about this guy on that review, and it's probably one of my better done reviews. Except for like one bad edit. I admit it. I had one bad edit in there. The other thing I got this week, GameStop is doing a major clearance. Oh, thanks, Roland. Well, I appreciate it. Okay, I'll say this, Roland. If you want to have fun, watch the first 5 minutes and then fast forward to the size comparisons, because the size comparisons are pretty good. But then GameStop was doing their closeout, and I've had my eye on this guy for ages. This is the 1,000 Toys, Sentinel re-edit, whoever it is. They're all the same company. Their Master Chief Mark 6. This thing is going for $180. I mean, this is right up there with the freaking synthetic humanoids and Dante, though he doesn't come with a stand. I got this guy for $85 out the door with tax, and this is the greatest Master Chief figure ever. Period. This is it right here. All others are inferior in comparison. I mean, it's great. It scales wonderfully. It poses beautifully. I actually might do a review for this guy this weekend because I'm feeling on a roll. But
his tolerances look real good too.
Oh, the tolerances are great. The balance is great. There's no die cast. Hold on. There is die cast at the very bottom of the feet. That's it. So he's able to hold all his weapons and everything beautifully tight. One thing that's not mentioned in the instructions, but I'll mention in my review, is he's got panels that you can peg the rifles to his back.
Okay.
So I've been staring at this for months, waiting for him to go down, and then the GameStop by me sold theirs before he went on closeout. So I went to another one down in Greensboro, and they had one left, and I said I just tacked on, give me the closeout, use my coupons, and I am very, very, very happy. I mean, the Jazzware ones are nice. They're good proxies. They're not the best. They're not the worst, and they actually work. He actually stands well next to the Jazzware ones. I'll say that.
The Jazzwares ones would be better if they used less gummy materials.
Oh, absolutely. But there's a difference between a $20 figure and a figure that retails for $175.
Less gummy materials and articulation that didn't fight you at every turn.
Yeah.
Well, this is all that in a bag of tricks. This thing is blowing any... I'm sorry, but this blows any Figuarts or Figma I have out the water. Plain and simple. This is the Master Chief action figure I've been waiting for years. I'm still going to do a review, though. I think I just pretty much said my piece.
Fair enough.
But how you guys doing?
All right, well, we'll shoot that over to the man, the myth, the legend, T-Man 978. T, how the hell are you? And what cool things did you get this week?
I am sleepy again. But
he's going to be playing Fortnite in an hour.
Fortnite Victory Royale Series Links Red.
I thought you were going to skip that one.
I was until I seen it in person. There's more paint. Somebody in the comments was complaining about the paint variations or whatever. I don't know what they're talking about. There's way more. I asked them, did they actually ever own one of them? Which they didn't answer. They're complaining about the variations of the paint levels or something. But this has paint, or deco changes all over. Even though you can't see, it just looks like a big red mess. But in person, there's like the tons of gradient on the chest. The arms have designs, which you're not going to be able to see. So, outside of that, ExtraZero told me about this being on sale. So I did get Night Wolf finally. And I need to open it. I might do that.
I was going to ask if there are Anything surprising about that one?
What's looking like it's a surprise is most of them have like a rotation above the knee. This looks like it doesn't have that, but it has
Never saw them in store.
more accessories than they ever get. Because he has 2 axes that are not small, a set of arrows, and the bow. They're not painted, but this is way more accessories than ever get from McFarlane Toys. And it was only $12, I think.
Yep, $12.
So that's surprising. But that's it.
All right.
How are you?
Well, I have had a week. It has been well, we're getting to go live on our project at work. So, man, I've been getting my ass kicked. You know, it's coming down to the wire on it. So my director has a whole bunch of questions. So it's been a stressful week. I had to go to Delaware a few times, but hey, despite all that, I got some cool things and some not so cool things, but we'll get into those. I'll save those for last. So I got some rants. On the cool side, T found a Tarantulas for me. So I got him, and this is an amazing, amazing figure. Like, this is probably the best of all of the Beast Deluxes that they've done. And I just can't say enough good things about this figure. It feels solid. The transformation's really fun. I like both accessories he comes with. He's painted really nice. I love these metallic, like the lime green accents on it. Just awesome figure. If you see this, even if you're not really a Beast Wars fan, pick him up. He's awesome. I think that's it for all official Transformers. I did get from TF Source. Now, mine came with some issues, and I was able to fix them. I'm trying to pick it up because he's a big boy. This is the MMC DZEF. So when I got mine, these shoulders would not lock in. And I was, going through the box. My box was a little bit smashed up. It was a lot of it smashed up. And the assembly for the shoulders was just floating around in the box. Like, there's a spring and a little panel that creates a clip. So I fixed that, and now that I've got him the way he needs to be, he's an awesome figure. I don't have anything else wrong. He doesn't look like he was damaged. It's just like the box got kicked around, and they came loose. But otherwise, really cool figure. In person, I really like how these wings work. It's a shame that they're stopping the IDW stuff. I'd really like to see whoever designed this do a Diatlas. It's a shame that their Grimlock's probably never going to see the light of day. But I hope MMC still sticks around in the third-party game. They're my favorite third-party company, and I really love the reformatted.
They'll be around for a bit. I mean, they just did the G1 version of him, so I think they still have plenty of.
And they're gonna remold it into their Devastator, and or not Devastator, their Double Dealer.
Okay, that actually.
Yeah, I just there's still some IDW characters that I wish that they could do. I would love to see, but all good things must come to an end eventually. Let's see. I got the Iron Spider and the new Iron Man. This Iron Man is fantastic. If you don't have a generic Iron Man in your collection, this is probably the one to get. My only complaint is that the gold pieces on him are I have two minor complaints. These gold pieces I wish were painted. They're just kind of cast in like a kind of a marbled, kind of yellowish gold.
Which Iron Man is that?
This is the one from the controller wave.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's not the 80th edition one.
Mm-mm. But he's got that new G.I. Joe Classified Series neck. The only thing he doesn't have is I wish he had like a proper waist rotation. You could get him in a little bit more dynamic poses. But I'm really happy with just how well he articulates and just how he looks. There's a lot of like all the well, not all the red. Some of the red appears to be painted. But yeah, he's got pinless joints. Really cool. He comes with 2 hands. These smoke effects, 2 repulsor effects. Just really, really well done. Iron Spider, I'm not very happy with. He poses very well. He's got pinless joints. The Waldos are probably my one of my bigger complaints because they have this guy was $27, and he comes in standard packaging, and these Waldos only have.
I thought he was 31.
Well, I got mine off Amazon, so if he is 31, don't pay that. Really, don't pay that.
That's why I'm paying 23.
Yeah, if you're paying 23, I think that's the right price. Like one of the things I really hate is that he's got like this metallic plastic here, but it doesn't match his limbs. Like I don't know how well it's showing up on my webcam, but the legs are different color than the torso and the head. And it just in person, there's some reviewers saying you won't notice it. In person, I assure you will. I would wait for a reissue of this mold, maybe with better paint, better Waldos, or just if you can get this for under 25, I think it feels worth it. But the price that I paid for it, thankfully this guy came down to 17. Like Amazon was like, oh yeah, by the way, we you saved additional money on your purchase. So this guy shot down from 24 to 17. I would have been happy paying 24 for this. With the accessories he comes with, how he looks. I think
pre-ordered.
You don't have him pre-ordered, or
no,
where
I
do
do.
you?
I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to remember where.
Oh. But yeah, Iron Spider. Unless you really need or really want an Iron Spider, it is not worth the asking price.
I've got these guys pre-ordered through Target.
So that'll be a random one whenever they choose to send that out. Next up, and I've got like a Womack haul this week. It's nice. Kintaro from Storm Collectibles. This is probably my favorite Storm Collectibles figure to date. Dave and I were kind of gushing about this guy in the set. For $120, you get a lot of stuff with him. You get 3 sets of hands. You get 3 heads. You get the fatality effect for Sub-Zero. You get the new arms for Sub-Zero. You get the fireball, the stand. This is an amazing figure. It's big. It's weighty. It feels substantial. If you're collecting Storm, or if you just love Mortal Kombat 2, this is definitely a great figure to get. And if you have Shao Kahn, he's going to look great next to him. Speaking of pre-orders on Target, actually, wait, I did get one more official Transformer. I got the Shattered Glass Blaster. There's really not much to say about it. It's just Shattered Glass Blaster. I got my Usagi Yojimbo. I am almost done with my Toon Turtles. Come on, release a Ray Fillet. And if I have a better way of getting Burn and Irma, or if somebody wants to part with a Burn and Irma, otherwise I am damn near done my Toon Turtles. Special shout out thanks to Roland Rage. He hit me up. Well, thanks to Dave for collaborating on this one. He mentioned in the chat he had a spare Danny from Loot Crate. I thought I would never get this figure. The price that he offered was fantastic. I can't thank you enough for this, because I really, really love having that core cast from the movie. I've got my April, my Casey, my Turtles, my Shredder. NECA is eventually going to ship me my Toka and Razor that I paid for early in the year. So I'm like, once I get my Secret of the Use Shredder, I think I'm basically done that, and I can get a couple of the comic book stuff, a couple of the comic book pieces. So it's nice to be able to have like an end in sight for that. Let's see. And last up, I have to talk about the most disappointing figure I've got all year. Now, we've talked about this figure on the show a little bit, and I was excited for it. I really was. I sold my Soul Shigoken version, and I really wanted a Megazord with more playability. This is the Zap Megazord. So I have never had so many QC, and you can see here that the pterodactyl doesn't want to peg on all the way. We'll get to that. I've never had so many QC issues with a Hasbro product in my life. There's some cool stuff going on with this. Like, when was the last time you saw Hasbro use chrome, for instance? So the sword is all chromed out. I love that he has the interchangeable hands. I wish he had a pair of hands that articulated, but it is what it is. So the biggest culprit in this piece is my red Tyrannosaurus. So this Tyrannosaurus, first and foremost, has an arm that's fused. They caked this thing in paint, and the elbow is fused. I ran that thing under hot water, and it would not budge. It was like super glued in place with paint. The next issue, the Megazord head, I've tried Kiki on this, but there's nothing that locks in. And these are just, and this is kind of a theme on this figure. There's stuff that just doesn't tab in. So like effortlessly, I'm like moving these pieces. The head just, if you move the head, like chances are these horns and the sides of the face are just going to move. When it's in dyno mode,
you're saying the QC issues are effortlessly random?
They are. I've got like really bad paint chipping. It's really hard to see on this camera. But like there is.
The Megazord is over 30 years old in design.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, my knees aren't the best either.
Well, for a new figure, you'd think like, okay, there wouldn't be that. It's also hard to see on this camera, but like there's glue that's like seeping out of this gem, and the gem feels like it's gonna pop off. But the worst issue I have with this figure are the way the thighs work. So again, like the head doesn't have anything that locks in, but these knees, like look, nothing locks in. They had John Warden working on this. Dude worked on Transformers for so long, but they couldn't have put like a tab or a post or something to lock this in. And everybody was like, well, did you check the instructions? The instructions are garbage. The instructions don't tell you much of anything, but certainly there's nothing in there that shows the locking mechanism. In all of the reviews I watched, these just do not tab in or lock. I could probably cake them in Kiki. That sounds nasty, but yeah, this is bad. It's really bad, and the plastic that they used on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, I mean, it feels KO quality. It is like one of the lightest Hasbro things. I just don't understand why they didn't. I don't understand why it released in this state. There's a lot of things on here. You can tell corners were cut. Like the paws on the saber-toothed tiger, they're locked into place. They're fused. There's no real wheels on anything. Waffle. Yeah, well, there's no waffles, thankfully. It's just that like the T-Rex Megazord.
The saber-toothed tiger legs are hollow.
Yeah, the insides are. So yeah, you're right. That doesn't bug me as much as the fact that these are all made of nice, heavy plastic. The T-Rex is super light. The Pterodactyl's light, but it just needed to be the chest plate. And they just, there's a lot of things, like they gave him the waist, right? But this back tail section is too high. So when you try to actually utilize that waist, it bumps into the back. This just seemed like it needed more time in the oven. And I'll just, before I get off my soapbox, the one thing I want to share about this is this box is the best box that Hasbro has ever done. And I sincerely mean that. Like, the presentation is amazing. This, I don't know how well you can hear that. This is like very, very heavy cardstock. It's metallic. I mean, this is very premium. This is better than what you would get with a Bondi figure. Now, a lot of the Magic
like
lost.
The 00 Snake Eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot like those G.I. Joe boxes, but just the scale and the fact that like all of these metallics are in here and they're printed and embossed and raised. Like, this is all really, really nice. I mean, this box itself, a lot of the budget had to have gone into this. When you take this, when you open it up, there's like really nice art inside of the Megazord fighting Goldar, and it's printed really, really well. Like, this packaging is amazing. The irony of it is, this isn't going to be found on any store shelf. This is like an e-tailer exclusive. You might see it in like a GameStop or a comic shop, but they're going to put their own price tag on here. Like, there is no reason to have this elaborate packaging. I mean, even there's like a slip case for this. So like when you get this box, we'll just, you know, have
It's
it
a good
here.
looking box.
It's a really nice box, and like the presentation is amazing. So when you get this, you're like already thinking like, man, this is a premium product. Wow, great, you know, great job on that, Hasbro. And then you open it up, and like I said, when you get to this, the magic is lost when you start pulling these pods up and your Zords are wrapped in fucking tissue paper. You know, it's like somebody did a professional swap with what you were supposed to get. So to conclude my rant about how crappy this Megazord is, I contacted Hasbro Pulse. I had a bit of a back and forth. Now, Hasbro Pulse has great customer service. What I don't appreciate is I was like, can you guys just swap this out? They're like, oh, we don't have any more in stock. Oh, okay. So I'm sending it back for a full refund. I did order a replacement from GameStop just to see if lightning strikes twice. No pun intended for lightning collection stuff. I don't think that's lightning collection, but GameStop already has this thing for like $45 off. So we shall see. So if it's bad, I can just go into any GameStop and return it and be like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. I don't necessarily, and maybe hold out and see if 3.0 does a Zord down the line with their Voltron. They very well could. 3.0 is like getting licenses like a Hoover vacuum. So, yeah, that's my rant on the Zord, the Zap Megazord. Now, the other fun thing too is I don't know if you guys remember, I have that NFT one, the black one that I backed.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So Roland Ray says, I got my Zap and I'm scared to open. I would open it just to see if yours has the issues. You know.
Or don't. And just tell it later when it gets.
Or don't. It sucks because so one of the main reasons I sold my SoC was because of the arms. Oh, you can see the pterodactyl fell off, but like the arms on this are perfect. That's the funny thing. Outside of the fact that he doesn't have articulated fingers, like he has no problem holding the sword or shield. My SoC, and I think everybody's SoC, like had weak elbows. You had to have the elbows posed perfectly in order for it to hold the Mastodon shield. Everything falls apart really at the legs, and if they had a locking mechanism for these thighs, I could work with some of the stuff like the clearance issues on the waist and the clearance issues on the thighs where they'll knock, like these are just friction, like these little pieces here are just friction fit, and if you rotate the thighs wrong, it'll knock those hip pieces off. I really could have worked with some of that stuff, but just this is a fatal flaw, and like John Warden, man, I love you, but you should be embarrassed with this release. As a designer,
you know he's a regular watcher of the show, so
I hope. I would love it if John Warden was a regular watcher of the show, because I'd love to have the guy on and talk, because he and Aaron Archer have done some of the best, work with Transformers. But
did I tell you that I had drinks with Aaron Archer?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, this was at actually it was at TFCon up in Virginia. And it was that Saturday night, I think, and I'm sitting there at the bar, getting my vodka soda, and this guy walks up and says, "Hey, listen, can you watch my drink for a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." He goes back there, he talks to somebody, comes back. I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." He's like, "Thanks, man." I said, "Oh yeah, no problem." I said, "So you having a good time at the con?" He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." Like, "Oh yeah, I'm Dave." He's like, "Oh, I'm Aaron Archer." I'm like, You know what?
Holy
You're
shit.
having a drink right now. We're not going to talk. We cheersed, and that was my Aaron Archer experience. And you know what? He was a lot more fun than Bob Budiansky.
Yeah, Bob Budiansky was nice,
Dreading.
but he was, not the most personable guy. All right, well, let's get into some news because we got some interesting reveals this week, and I know normally like this week in repaints is kind of a joke, but we've got some interesting ones this week. Let's get into it.
This week in repaints.
All right, so this came out of nowhere. This is from TFW 2005. Apparently, this is news to everybody. Velocitron is getting a Wave 2. So, a user in New Zealand, Python 5003. I'm not sure what shop these were found in, but these were bought legitimately. Oh, it was, holy fuck, a Kmart in New Zealand.
Somewhere out there, Prime vs. Prime is fuming.
Now, T, I know how much you want to do Prime versus Prime, talking about how Kmart is absolutely the best, most spectacular
store ever.
Yes. So this is obviously a G2 drag strip, but it's not drag strip. They're calling this shadow strip.
That's a good idea. Because then that'll make you feel like, hey, I'm not buying the same guy.
I think the other thing too is by naming him that, like, they don't have to commit to releasing all the Stunticons, but you know they're gonna do that. Princeton says a blue light special, and I was watching. Any of you guys watch Company Man?
Never heard of it.
He does like these short form documentaries about like defunct businesses or businesses that have been on a decline. And he did one about like the decline of Kmart. It's actually they're like short form. They're like little 10-minute documentaries. Highly recommend them. The one on Kmart was interesting because he really went into like how big Kmart used to be and how much
they
the blue light special
kept Little Caesars in business.
Yeah, Little Caesars had a. Yeah, they're number 3.
You can find a Kmart in the back of the Little Caesars.
If only. I think the last time I was in a Kmart was when the Last Night figures came out, and that Optimus Pro,
I think it was a Chug figure for me. That's where I bought my old Chug Cyclonus. But hey, it looks cool.
Great deco. Showing them off on Motor Master. I'm sure that we'll get an inevitable, or I guess the Manosaur combiner, but we'll get an inevitable G2 probably in Velocitron. Let's see what they do first. Finish the Legacy Motor Master or Legacy Manosaur.
They got to finish it faster than fans' toys.
Love this deco on the side of him. Like, it's cool stuff going on there. Interestingly enough, they don't say that he's like one of 5. He just is his own thing right now. There he is, and very, very real. Showing off that box, even showing off the instructions. There he is next to his Legacy counterpart. You can switch their pants. Then we get to.
Hold on, it just hit me. You know what would be really cool for them to do using that little bit of technology, that split technology?
Revisit Energon Power Links?
No, Landcross.
Oh yeah,
that would be so freaking cool. Sorry. Okay.
Super Link.
Yeah, I like. Oh, Super Link.
Now we get the Crasher. So we knew Crasher was coming in some way, shape, or form. And T, I know you've had like an emotional roller coaster about this since you saw it, because at first you were like pass, and Now,
I don't know. If I get weak and see it in the store, I'll buy it. But for the people that didn't watch Pick yesterday, I mean Sony's channel, I wanted her to be drag strips, a retool of drag strip, and they literally just repainted Mirage and didn't change the head or do anything personalized to make it crash.
Well, actually, Crasher's head, the GoBot Crasher's head works with the Mirage.
Kind of, but they didn't change the face.
yeah.
Just
But the whole design of the body looks way more like drag strip than it does Mirage, because she never had the front of the car on her chest.
Right.
It was
No,
just like it looks
original-
like to me. I've always been saying it. It looks like drag strip was designed to be her pre-tool of sorts. All they had to do is put the cockpit windshield on there and give her a new head, and that would have been it.
the original Crasher, she, like, when you took the front of the car and bent it, that's where her head appeared. So
Yeah.
actually, the front of the car was
Probably
the
the back of her head, like hair. And those things on drag strip's shoulders are shaped like that. If you bend them back, that could even more reflect. Like if you folded them out and then bent them back a little bit,
Yeah.
it would represent what she looked like more. Or leave them like they are, and from the side, you see the front of the. So it's like it just seemed like at the last minute somebody's like, "Nah, we don't want to do that. We're not going to put the extra work into retooling. But here's what we can do because this face kind of looks like Crasher."
Yeah.
So I'm debating on whether I'm getting it because I have a feeling in a couple years they're going to do something better. That's what always happens when you settle for a figure that you know ain't right. They come out with a better one a couple years later.
There's a wealth of GoBot characters that Hasbro owns the rights to. And if they needed new characters for Legacy, they don't have to make them retools. It would be a big deal, especially if they did like a Voyager cycle. I mean, all the people that missed out on the Machine Robo, and I know somebody was saying in one of the chats we were in earlier that the X-Transpots, the new X-Transpots version of Cycle was kind of like didn't hit the mark. There'd be a big market for that, especially how many people bought into the Machine Robo stuff, and it doesn't look anything like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
I still have my Salmore. I still like my Salmore.
Only the DX version of Bike Robo.
Yeah.
You have that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have mine. I love that figure.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
Complete package. I don't really know. Like, this is going to be like one where I kind of have to see it in the store to determine whether or not I want it. And also what else is in this wave.
The thing is, the Shadow will sell more because people are going to want to have a complete Menasor with just proxy Stunticons.
Yeah. Chris Barnes has a good point here. A real good point that heard rumors
That's
that
true.
Hasbro owns the names and rights, but Bandai owns the design, so they might not be able to get too close.
They could do something. They've been releasing classics and stylized versions of G1 all these years. They could do something that looks highly similar, but completely different. Like it would be a different toy regardless. It's not the same toy as the original.
Was it Maverick would be a perfect Leader 1?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people have said that they could easily retool that.
You know, again, take a Junkion, retool it, and put the wheels on his shoulders. There's your Psycho.
And it's like they could have done that so many times and they just don't. And it's like, why? You own GoBots. Like the Wreck-Gar mold is changed enough where it doesn't look completely like Psycho. But if you paint it like Psycho and retool the shoulders, like you just said, so it can accept the wheels on the shoulders.
Yeah,
instead of the
that wouldn't be
forearm.
hard at all because it's just 5mm ports at that point.
Right.
So
We
yeah,
got
lots.
one-
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we got one more Velocitron Wave 2 to get into, and I have no idea where TM Reviews found this image. So there was a Velocitron Voyager hot rod product description that went up, basically saying that this is going to be a toy deco. It appears to come with most of the accessories that the Studio Series 86 came with. Doesn't mention anything about a matrix though. So basically just says it's generation style design, epic modes, converts robot to race car, blah blah blah. But it comes with the buzzsaw, blaster, blast effects. No mention of the matrix or the welding tool
Or the Matrix Light.
or the matrix effects. Yeah,
They should have gave him a Target Master.
I agree. That would have made a lot of sense. But we get a look at him, and it's blurry. This is an alleged picture. I think it came off Weibo. Weibo. And again, I have no idea where TM Reviews found this image, but he was kind enough to share it with us, and this is the only place I've seen this picture. I think this is a pass for me, to be honest. Like, I hope that these are Tampo details. I'm not big on the toy deco for Hot Rod. What do you guys think?
You know what? Maybe they are Tampo, and that's where the extra money went. That you didn't get the Matrix and all that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I would have bought this, oddly enough, if he was blue and they called him Hot Shot with a different head.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, actually play off, because they were making a lot of. I mean, Velocitron is from Cybertron, from Transformers Cybertron.
Right.
Maybe they'll make a new mold.
I hope.
But you know what I'm saying? Because then that would have been perfect to pair with Override.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great point.
The Hot Shot mold would be way simpler than this, because he barely did anything to transform.
Well, there is a Cybertron.
They also released
already.
a version of Hot Shot colored like Hot Rod, which was absolutely awesome, called Excellion. Which, ironically enough, Excellion was the Japanese name for Hot Shot because I'm a fat dork.
I bought that and sold it for a good amount.
But I'm just saying, I think I would have preferred that, especially as a Velocitron exclusive, the Cybertron homage.
The only problem I have with this is if it's toy deco, it should have been a darker red, darker maroon.
I agree. Yeah.
But it's perfectly serviceable. That's a great figure.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool engineering. The visors there, the opening hands.
Yeah, the original toy only came with 2 guns you could barely hold.
Yeah, but I agree. I wish he was a Target Master. I think that if he was a Target Master, I'd be like a little, hey,
that's gonna be later, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they can still generation select it.
Or they could, just like they did the Headmaster packaging.
Yeah.
They can do Target Master packaging.
Yeah, to Princeton's point, if they had made that the Nemesis version, I'd be a little bit more excited.
That'll be later.
That will be later for sure, but they're not done with this mold. This one though, for me, I think is a pass.
No, especially if it's staying in the reds. No, easy pass. Next
up, we get a look, another teaser for Earthspark. We get a look at some characters that we hadn't seen before. You can watch on the YouTube channel, the Transformers YouTube channel. They have this roll call video. The show's looking interesting. I don't like Optimus's face, but That
The
said,
only Prime I can accept without a faceplate is animated.
I
Prime.
like the Prime one, like Transformers Prime. I thought that looked fine.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
I mean, he didn't have it. None of them had noses, but like his face, like there was nothing like creepy about it. This kind of, I think T said it best. He was like, that looks like the image of Prime laughing at Wheeljack. And it was that little golden book Prime.
It's like they lifted that face and put it on.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Primal, the way they did Optimus Primal, where part of the mouth plate is still over his nose and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. I like the casting. I like Alan Tudyk. I think he's going to be cool to hear as Prime. Truck mode looks fine. I think in general, I just don't like this head design for Prime. I don't like whatever's going on.
Okay, guys, I understand Alan Tudyk. He'll be interesting as Prime. How cool would Nathan Fillion have been as Prime? He's got that deep voice.
Maybe.
Anyway,
they went more kiddified for these
that's the
designs.
problem. This is a kid. I mean, it's like the same reason I didn't watch the Bumblebee Cyberverse thing. Same reason I didn't watch Prime RID. It's just gonna be a kids show.
Well, I mean, this looks more like in keeping with Transformers Prime.
I feel like it's somewhere between Cyberverse and Prime.
Well,
like
at least
the
this has
details are
Decepticons.
better, and they're not like flat.
Yeah, like both the kids get Transformers. They're bonded with like an ET fashion, from what I can pick out. So we
I thought
get
the
Thrash.
kids were Transformers for some reason.
Initially, I thought so too, because they both have like power glove looking things, like a gauntlet that goes on.
Yeah, so they're like binary bonded. I wonder if they'll say that.
So we get Thrash as the motorcycle, brand new character, and I love brand new characters.
This also makes me think. I can barely remember GoBots, but one of the kids was paired up with Scooter, right?
Yeah.
God, I felt sorry for that kid.
His voice. That was the main problem. But I like the toy.
I'm sorry, but all right, we got a airplane, we got a sports car, and you're riding a scooter that can't go more than 35 miles per hour.
I mean, that was the.
Who
80s,
has no
man.
armaments?
None of them did. They shot those beams out of there.
Scooter didn't have blasters. He did not. There was one episode he got his blasters. Why do I remember this shit?
Because you liked it. It was a fun distraction.
I'm glad that they dropped the mute Bumblebee. Like Danny Pudi sounds pretty good as Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
I like the car mode.
Yeah, it looks like the Evergreen one, but refined quite a bit.
I'm just glad in general the mute Bumblebee is gone. I think that's been played out.
Now, one thing that got me in this trailer is Wheeljack has like a Texan. He looks like he was ripped out of Transformers Prime, which I'm fine with. I like that design. But he has like a Texan accent now, which is like really weird.
He might have a mustache. That's probably what.
Yeah.
So somebody probably looked at that and was like, "Oh, he's a cowboy."
We get a lead one's alt mode. She's and T made an interesting point. Is like these very feminine Transformers have big bulky alt modes. So it's like, what is that going to be for the toys?
Now her, I can kind of see, but this RC, she's gonna have a big giant box on her back because there's no way that car compacts into what she looks like.
Yeah, like this is all very clean. I love the concept of this alt mode. Like the pink Cadillac, man, that's badass. But yeah, like you're right. Like, what is the toy going to be?
See those two things on her shoulders? It's gonna be a whole big ass car right above that.
There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I do see the hood of the car is her chest.
Yeah, you can see the little
What?
emblem.
It's way more car than that.
I like the headlights on the shoulders.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Unless all the cars in her legs.
Or they just kind of like, remember how like we saw those like world's smallest Transformers, and then they gave like RC like the surfboard backpack, even though like
Oh yeah.
yeah, watch them do that in the show. It's like she does this, but then there's like a big piece of fucking car that like just goes off and does its own thing.
I don't like the blue face either.
That doesn't bother me at all.
The soulless eyes bother me.
I think it's just
probably-
like RC looking super stoic here. I think doesn't help. It kind of makes her look like the oh god, what's that that one like completely like pale white robot? Jay Leno.
Ratchet?
White Disney.
No, it's not a Transformer. It's
Vision.
yeah, it'll come to me. But there's like it's not Transformers related. But there's like a white female robot that like it kind of reminds me of. Skull Cruncher we saw briefly. This design looks awesome. Somebody at Hasbro must really love Skull Cruncher.
Yeah. He basically doesn't change. It's the same transformation as normal, except he's not a headmaster, probably.
I like how he's all roided out in this incarnation. Like,
I got no problem with that.
I just hope that these figures aren't like boxed in to being like deluxe class only, like the warrior class.
They're going to be kids' toys. That's the thing. They're not going to be the regular. The plastic's going to be hollow. It's going to be. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, again, Prime RID had great designs, but I just could not handle the. Oh, Swindle?
Yeah, Swindle's in this.
Oh crap! They're Combaticons. Oh, Swindle looks good.
Yeah, he looks, and I say this as a compliment. He looks so much like that CW Combiner Wars design, which I loved for Swindle.
Swindle. Fun fact: Swindle is Dave's second favorite Decepticon.
You know what my favorite incarnation of Swindle was?
Animated.
Oh hell yeah, Fred Willard as Swindle. That's Kiss.
Making the cone heads. I loved it.
Yes.
Let's tell you guys apart. Soundwave looks interesting.
And
he looks a ton like Cybertron Soundwave.
He looks like Cybertron Soundwave with hints of Prime Soundwave.
Yeah.
I wish they had given him a gray faceplate because it kind of washes out like.
Nah, at least the toy will look like the show.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. He also kind of reminds me of like Beast Machine's Jetstorm a little bit, except he's got wings.
What was that little robot from the Revenge of the Fallen that combined? You could sort of combine it with Mindwipe.
Oh,
I know exactly
what
who you're talking about.
No. And I bought them. I never could figure out how to combine them properly.
Yeah, it didn't work that well, to be honest. I still have them because I like that Mindwipe. And I think Horizon Forbidden West, they have a bat robot that looked a lot like Mindwipe, and I think it was actually called Mindwipe.
Mindwipe and Skystalker that combined.
I mean, it wasn't called Mindwipe. Whatever name it has, it was a Transformers name, and I was like, somebody has to be a Transformers fan on that Horizon team. Megatron to me looks good. Somebody saying that.
I mean, that's from animated. I think that's a really good.
Yeah.
Whoever posted this really liked Soundwave because they had a bunch of pictures, but 2 pictures of everybody else.
I mean, I've got Paramount Plus. I'll be checking the show out. I just kind of going into it with. I don't have low expectations. I just kind of have no expectations because Transformers shows have been.
I think it's going to be better than Armada.
Well, that's setting the bar real. Like Armada was like, I don't know if you know the history of Armada, but it was like written in the U.S. It was translated, and then for whatever reason they retranslated the scripts. Was like always like the urban legend.
It was just
That wouldn't make sense.
bad.
Didn't make sense, but that was always the urban legend that was how it worked out. But yeah,
We must fight.
this is supposed to be out in November, so we got a couple months to go. Again,
Taking forever. I thought it was coming out this summer. Or did it get delayed? I can't remember.
I don't think it got delayed. I think they just said this fall, and fall is a pretty big like window. Especially, I think everybody tends to think that fall's kind of short, but winter doesn't really start until December. So,
Hey, check backstage.
Oh, here we go. We got Mike joining us here.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No, it's all
Sky
good.
Stalker.
Well,
It was Sky Stalker.
this guy. So, Mike, before we get into any more news, how the hell are you? And did you get anything cool this week?
Well, this will be real quick. This week has been hell at work. Just trying to get stuff done and coordinating with a lot of opinions. And unfortunately, this week I got nothing. But hopefully that'll change if we get some pre-orders popping up that have been hinted at. And maybe I'll find something next weekend up in Pennsylvania. So,
Hell yeah. It's going to be a good time.
how are you guys, real quick?
We are
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I've also had the hellish work week, so I feel the pain.
So, interesting takes on that TV show. I was catching you guys and your thoughts on it. Real quick, I guess I'll have the same viewpoint that you were just talking about, Zero, and just coming in fresh with no expectations and hoping to be surprised. We'll see. So,
There you go.
Awesome. Well, last on the docket for our official news, we've got a licensed Dark of the Moon voice changer mask, and these are from Killer Body. They have like the license, and I know like there are people on YouTube that have reviewed the Bumblebee and the
Why?
Prime.
Who would want this?
There are cosplayers, there are collectors, that there are people that collect helmets.
Oh,
These
he's
are
still popular at Universal Studios.
yeah.
That's the guy who
So-
whoever runs the thing who knows how to trash talk at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
So like these are kind of like the equivalent. Like I think the Optimus and the Bumblebee ran for like $300-$400. The Bumblebee one is badass. It actually has like the battle mask mode and everything. They have LED eyes that you can actually still see through. I don't know if this one has an articulated jaw. I would assume it does, because when you talk into the Optimus, the faceplate actually moves.
I smell you, boy.
So there's
Sorry, had Mexican.
these work both in English and Chinese, which is also cool. They have voice activation features. I know these aren't for everybody. I know that the Mr. Bayverse jokes are gonna run high on me, but
Oh, wait, you're buying this?
no,
Oh.
I am not getting this. This is like not only like no, it's a never. Like I am okay with those modern Icon helmets that are the G1 style. These are badass. This is like if you have like unlimited funds in space. These are
Partsformer's museum in the basement.
yes. But like the detail on these is second to none. They're really cool. There is an audience. There's also they're also doing like a super deformed little figurine.
Oy.
But yeah, no idea what the price is on it. It would be cool if they had like a body for the helmets. Like you could have like a super deformed body for the helmet that it would sit on. Like, hey, that's your display base, because there is that little display base for the helmet that looks like a neck.
Michael print you up one for a novelty.
Man, I'd have fun painting the hell out of that. All right, let's get into our third-party news, and this is going to be very Prime heavy, like super Prime heavy. I don't think we've ever had a third-party segment that was this Prime heavy. First up, APC Toys is doing a trailer for their Prime called Assault Boxcar. I don't think it's been a minute since I saw Transformers Prime. Did Optimus even use did he have a trailer in that at all?
Nope.
I can't say he didn't at one point. On one episode.
I cannot think of.
What about the first episode against Mech when they were going against when they were following that train? Didn't he have a trailer then?
I can't remember.
I don't even think I can't even think of a homage trailer. I know at one point in animated they gave him a trailer but that was, like I said, for a one-off.
It's been a long time.
Hey, I need to rewatch it.
I thought I left you.
But the cool thing about this is not only will it work on their KO, but it's also going to work on the official. So if you have a first edition Optimus, I don't know if it'll work on that RID one with the light up features, but it's cool that this is a third party kit that will work on official and their upgraded KO. Unfortunately, they don't have any pictures of the actual product, just the box. But
this is the only picture?
That is unfortunately the only picture. Just the news is it's coming.
Oh. All right.
Next up, Fans Hobby. Fans Hobby, we looked at this last week. We saw a little bit of it. Now we get a look at the combined mode. This is their Power Links Optimus Prime, which is their repaint of Naval Commander. If you don't have this mold already. Yeah. I love this mold. I had a lot of fun messing with this figure. The first one, they rushed it out before Chinese New Year. It had its fair share of QC issues. It had to have cost Fans Hobby a pretty penny to replace 60% of everybody's cabs.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I want a Naval Commander, but that's like an ugly paint job.
It's like a paint job when they got like extra energon or elevated to
he got brought back.
super mode.
This is his Galvatron version.
It was the worst cash grab ever put into one of those shows of a power up. I just remember Starscream turning blue going, "I look like Thundercracker now." I'm like, what the fuck, man?
That was super Dragon Ball-y. Random shit.
I like how he looks with the red faceplate, to be honest. I like that they give you all the options. This is a skip for me. If they do a Nemesis version without the trailer, I will be down.
Okay,
I had already, with the original Armada, I had quit because I got tired of buying them and then being like, these are lackluster. But then when they made everybody a repaint and didn't change their names, I was like, oh boy.
It was Power Links Prime, Power Links Megatron, Power Links Ratchet.
I mean, back in the day, it gave you an option. So he says, Jerry Mindset says, I might get this since I didn't get the first. It's an awesome mold, and I'm guessing now.
Do you have the pictures? Sony had pictures yesterday showing that they updated the color scheme.
For this?
Yeah, the feet aren't going to be black; they're going to be red.
Oh, no, I don't have those pictures.
And then then the Megatron's going to come out with the pink, with the purple and white one.
Yeah, no, I'm good with the green and purple Megatron.
Yeah, I said what I said about that one.
So,
It's a
fun
older
fact. Oops, sorry.
No, you can finish.
I was going to say, fun fact. Going back to the trailer, season 1, episode 9, named Convoy. There is a part where they are actually following this explosive device, and that's the first showing of that terrorist group mech. So that is when he has a trailer on him. So because he's transporting Agent Fowler.
Ernie
keeping
Hudson.
up with stuff.
And when he transforms, it doesn't just disappear.
Mark 44, what's up, man? All right, I said this was going to be Prime heavy, and I didn't lie. We're going to keep on keeping on with our fans hobby figures here. We get our first look at a TFCon exclusive for Chicago. This is going to be a exclusive at the Chosen Prime booth. I guess this is the only picture we have. This is a repaint of their Power Links. I'm sorry, their Power Master Optimus Prime. This is kind of like a powered convoy, but not. I think the Chosen Prime had a similar deco for the Cross Dimensions. What was that? Striker Manus in the same deco.
Delta Manus.
It was Delta Manus, yeah. This is cool. I'm kind of, I love Fans Hobby, but this mold is kind of like,
it's a perfect exclusive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's cool to have. It's got a story, but if you don't have it, you're not going to be angsty about it. Going, oh dear Lord.
Yeah. I love the contrast, like with this yellow. Like this is like a very like early 2000s neon yellow translucent. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I love how Fans Hobby does this thing where they do like a very silver paint and a transparent plastic over top. It really makes their stuff pop. Make Toys does that too. So I'm sure this is going to have a lot of shelf presence, but just not for me.
Yeah. Well, considering it's not for me.
It looks awesome, but I don't want to pay for it.
I always just keep my eyes on like what MMC's doing, like MMC, and then X-Transbots has had some interesting exclusives lately. I really wish I had gotten that. I think it's still available in some places, but that Christmas themed repaint of their Trailbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because like I know like when we set up the little the Santa's sleigh under the tree this year, I'd be like, man, that would be fun to have in front.
This guy right here, he's actually kind of cool. Some loose parts, but not bad for a repaint.
Do you have the Santa head on him? Or
I do not have the Santa head. I have him with the accessories until Christmas time. So.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be kind of fun. Like he can be like Diaclone for most of the year, and then Christmas comes up, and he graduates to living room status. All right, next up, we have we've already looked at this figure, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. But we actually have the official photography. This is an MMC figure. I'm hoping this guy's out soon. This is their Optus Promenon, and
$115, $114.
So I skipped the shattered glass one. I said I wanted this. I said, the thing about the shattered glass one I liked was the axe. And man, when they showed that he comes with the axe, I was hyped. I was like, yeah, I don't need that shattered glass one.
Yeah, this is the kitchen sink version.
Yeah.
The sword too.
He's got the sword. I'm doing everything I can not to pre-order this.
For the asking price, all the accessories you get, I think this is the definitive version of the mold. Like that color scheme just like absolutely pops. Like this is one where
I could justify having the black one, I could justify having the shattered glass one. If I get that one, it just makes the first one completely redundant.
Well, unless you want him to be like your
Energon infused version.
yeah.
Oh, God, I'm gonna hit that pre-order button, aren't I? I'm gonna have four versions of this damn figure.
When did they say this guy may come out?
I believe he's end of the year, but they don't have.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Well, let's check over January. So
Okay.
BBTS says January. I would guess probably other again, not to crap on BBTS, but I guess other retailers might be getting them in probably December. But yeah, I pre-ordered this guy. I absolutely have to have this. So, and I'm glad, I didn't get the shattered glass one for that damn axe, knowing that I'm gonna get.
I can see
But the color seems so cool though with it.
It did.
If anybody's interested, I am out on this. I got the first one, and that's all I need.
I can respect that. I can respect it. It's like
Absolutely.
this figure though, like for me, this is like what I always wanted out of those Astrobots, and I love the Astrobots still, but like to get one, and like he doesn't cost all that much more than the Astrobots. Like when we were at,
it's amazing that he has more articulation than them and transformed.
Yeah.
And accessories.
You know what would have been really cool though is like they have they've been using this sword forever. This came with their Nova Prime, but it would have been really cool if like you could take that Matrix and plug it on somewhere into that axe.
That's a slightly different. No, that's not the same Nova Prime sword.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'll have to check because like the Nemesis version comes with that same sword.
It does. My first comments was it was nice to finally get a new sword. Yeah, the Nova's because that sword you're thinking of that's been around since freaking Terminus Exit.
Yeah. I'll double check when I go downstairs. That's
Sephiroth Pronomicron.
Oh, those names are starting to sound like Harry Potter spells.
I was about to say Necronomicon.
Last up on our very Prime-heavy third-party news, we get a look at Magic Square's new Masterpiece Scale offering. Their Light of Peace, not Light of Freedom, Light of Peace.
Or Justice.
Or Justice, yeah. This looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, never mind. It is the same sword. Never mind.
That's what I thought.
I was wrong.
So, stuff I like about this, stuff I don't. Full disclosure, not getting this because I have two MP44s. I have the official. I have a third party. Fourth party KO. I don't need this, but I like the way this looks. It takes a lot of elements from the Takara Tomy, like especially the hands, the proportions, but it's a little bit beefier.
Ooh.
The hands are better. The things I like is the hands are better, and the green little lights inside of his chest when he opens up.
Yeah, I'll go back to this real quick.
And
he's not paneling in the legs like MP44.
Right.
One of the pictures had it more up close, or either that or I zoomed in. I can't remember. But the backpack is slightly smaller. But other than that, I feel like if you already own MP44, you don't really need this.
Right.
But I do like that hand possibility because MP44 doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The shoulder articulation doesn't look as strong as MP44 either. It seems like every pose where he's doing anything, his shoulders are lifted up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas MP44, you can actually ratchet the whole joint out if you want to. Like right there, you see his shoulders are super high.
I'm curious what's going on with these hip skirts here too.
They fold in, the front ones fold in like MP44.
Okay.
It's just like MP44. Oh yeah, and the hinge that used for the ab crunch is basically just like the first version. I hope it's ratcheted this time. And I hope it can hold the gun.
So Matt, in our chat, he brought up a good point about these headlights. Somebody was saying the headlights looked kind of funny, but these are actually accurate.
They're actually more detailed than the cartoon. The cartoon was just boxes, square.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the round light in the middle.
Now, didn't they switch between versions throughout the season, or depending who was animating it?
They made it.
Or when you say it's closer, you're saying it's close to like the initial, like the lead-in intro for the cartoon. I'm trying to remember if they were square or round.
I believe they were always square.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? No, I might be wrong on that. I'm thinking about the scene where he's struggling to transform. I think it was round and looked more like the toy.
Okay.
Without the peg hole in the front, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, and maybe it's not the intro, maybe it's the outro where he's driving and then he transforms. But I do agree with you about the colors inside the chest. I was just looking to compare with TE01, and that's the only other one that I remember because I have my fourth party. Actually, mine. I guess they did paint the inside of the KOs as well. So, but I like that detail. And at least this one, like the translucent is darker, where it's not glaringly obvious, but it gives enough inside, or enough that you can see the details inside without it being overpowering, I guess I say.
It looks beautiful. I mean, it looks near impeccable. If it doesn't cost an arm and a leg and a hip.
Yeah. Yeah, Jedi Mindset was just asking, like, what's the price? I don't think we have any of that right now. I'm going to guess he's going to be around, like, 180, given the current market.
I'm seeing, I looked up that scene I'm talking about. He has actually, the scene where Optimus is struggling to transform after falling down the mountain. He has two lights on each side and they're round. And you see his arms come out, then they shift around. But I'm gonna have to look up other scenes to see if he actually still has those two lights every time, or was that just extra flourish for that scene?
Yeah. I love how clean. Well, so yeah, Jay says this is $169.99 on TCP. Okay. So I love how clean this truck mode is, but I'm not seeing a fifth wheel. Like, I don't know, like, if that's a deal breaker to anybody. Like, you know, like, where's the trailer gonna? That's what they call the trailer hitch.
The trailer hitch.
Yeah, two trailer hitches. He has the one that fits MP10 and one that fits MP44.
Are they snap-on or?
Snap-on.
Oh, okay. So parts forming involved for that. That's not the end of the world, to be honest, since the trailer's kind of parts forming anyway.
I think everybody loves TE, and that's how they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
There he is in grayscale.
So Jenna Mindset was asking about the accessories. I think there's the prerequisite ones besides the ion cannon. He comes with like the Energon axe, but if you look at the picture that has it, it's one of those that actually looks like the bottom part separates and actually fits inside his hand.
Yeah, I can see that right there. Like the two. That's a good way of doing it. Like I really didn't like how MP44 did it, where it was like that clip.
It's similar to how MP10 did it, actually.
Yeah, MP10 had like that gummy plastic that went over.
This encapsulates it.
Yeah. Yeah, from a stability perspective, I definitely prefer that. But yeah, I'm guessing he's probably going to be fairly light on accessories just to keep it to where it is, to keep it, you know, in that 150
What
ballpark.
more does he need? Axe, rifle, matrix.
I mean, alternate heads if they wanted to give him the battle damage parts. I mean, I think those are kind of redundancies. I think we're getting to a point where we're going to see more and more third-party companies just, again, to keep things tight in this economy. Kind of
I only have
forego.
one aesthetic issue with it, and I'm just the short, just those smokestacks being so short.
That doesn't bother me at all, to be honest.
Well, it looks like they extend, so.
T, what were you saying about the elbows? If you put them at a
Yeah,
certain
in certain
angle?
pictures, one of the pictures, it just looks weird. It's like you could see a screw in the shoulder joint. They try to hide it in most of these poses, but one of them, you could really see the L, like that one.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, I see it now.
Oh. Well, like you said, people like TO1, including myself, and we got this big knob on the outside of the ankle for the ankle pivot showing.
Yeah. I just watched Optimus transform for the first time on the first episode, and the lights are square. But for that one scene, they added a lot more detail. Because Transformers is super consistent.
I'm looking forward to reviews on this.
It's gonna be
Braun, like when Braun joined the Decepticons.
And then I just hope this doesn't convince Takara Tomy to do a 4.0 Optimus.
God.
All right, out of Transformers, we're gonna talk our standard action figure news. Let's get into it. We got PulseCon coming up. PulseCon's at the end of the month, so it's creeping up on us. Well, there's only two things I want out of it, and that's going to be the Serpentor and the Alpha Trion and Orion Pack set. But
You know,
there
just
is
Serpentor, and I'm not looking forward to that fight.
got that Pulse Premium, man. If I can get two of them, I'll just get two of them. So.
Me and Mike were like going nuts for Mindbender.
Did anybody miss Mindbender?
I don't think so. I think actually T was thanking me for letting him know that it was available that Saturday.
All I know,
one of those days they had a whole bunch of them. They stayed up for a while.
Yep.
I was driving back from our vacation in the Carolinas, and I know like a lot of people were blowing my phone, including Mike. It's available. And I was just like, oh, shit. And I'm driving. Like, we're on 95 heading back to Maryland. And Lex is like, she's like, are you okay? Do you need me to do something on your phone? I was like, no, I got it. And she's like, what was it? I was like, oh, there was an exclusive G.I. Joe. I had to pre-order it.
Wrecked the car with his newlywed wife over.
Right. With the two dogs in the back seat. No, we were going like 15 miles an hour in traffic, and I was like,
Talk the fender bender.
yeah, right.
Ooh, 10 points.
So well, there's going to be a whole panel for. I'm sure there's going to be a whole panel for basically every Hasbro property. It's their convention after all, but they're really hyping up that hey, G.I. Joe is going to have a brand panel there. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of classified stuff. They've really got to fix their distribution because I don't know how it is for you guys, but I feel like when I go into stores anymore, for whatever reason, they just got in the Snake Eyes movie stuff in a few of the Targets here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing that show up for a bunch of friends are like, yeah, for whatever reason, the Snake Eyes movie stuff is prevalent in Target.
Yeah, they just came back. I've been stuck with two of those Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I'm thinking about just taking them back to the store and getting store credit.
You should.
I was just say the only other one I've seen sitting around was Pigworm and Gung Ho. So
Occasional Lady J.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Walmart retro card backs except for the ones that I got through Pulse.
I've never seen.
I've never seen them either.
yeah.
So I know there was a to-do a few weeks ago where Hasbro was like they're going to reevaluate their distribution strategy. We'll see how that pans out. Hopefully they
Yeah.
talk
I
about
think
that.
I might be lying. I think I did see Lady J hardback.
Well, I know there's been some talk about people in Canada getting early invoices for their Crimson Guard figures. So, and then
That makes me mad. They've been available elsewhere. Like, where are they?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Amazon finally sent me an update for Stalker and the Crimson Twins.
Oh.
That they're going to be coming out here in the next
November.
month. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I did get that.
I figured we were going to get that notice, and then next week it was going to ship out. Because that's what normally happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
the only
any of us are
update-
going to buy that He-Man.
What was that, Dave?
I don't think any of us are going to buy that He-Man.
No, I just wanted to highlight this one real quick because I think it's kind of cool. I have friends that collect these the Masters of the Universe Origins. This is a 40th anniversary 4-pack. You basically get all of the relevant He-Man figures.
I think it's cool that new Netflix one has an appropriate posable body
Yes.
instead of 5 POA. But that 2000 does the one second.
That's the
that
worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the one with the blue pants. He is
Oh,
way
the
too
no,
buff.
the No Ventures of He-Man.
He was never that buff in the cartoon.
No, he wasn't, but the toy kind of ish was. I like that these are all done in the style if they were in the original line. I don't think that the 2000s He-Man works as well. I think that the
that's what that is. I didn't realize what he was.
Yeah. Because you have like the original, you have like he's more done in the filmation look. You have the New Adventures of He-Man, then you have like the 2000s one, and then the modern day.
We'll get Master Race version of him. But
I mean, it's definitely cool that they're doing this. This is like, hey, if you're a He-Man collector, this is a really cool way to get these figures. It looks like there's a bit of love going into this set.
If that is the 2001, why didn't they give him his space from the show?
I don't know.
Because the other two other ones outside of him have the face they have on the show.
Yeah. So
All I know is one of the Netflix show was using an MMC sword. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
All right. Well, next up, we get a look at another He-Man figure. This one is probably more up your alley. It's a New Eternia Stratos. So this is coming next year. They're doing their Tuesday, and they're also showing off Viking He-Man here. As well as a Jitsu figure. I think we've seen Jitsu. We've seen Battle Armor He-Man, Barbarian Skeletor. There's Dark Horse Comics coming for New Eternia. But yeah, the Stratos looks pretty neat. I wish they had some pictures of him out of package.
Give me
Curious,
the
like,
Thorthrists.
isn't she hitting shelves now?
I don't even remember what she looked like.
She looks
I
like
haven't
a
seen it.
bird cosplayer.
After Furry Beastman, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other New Eternia stuff.
Even the Tila with that was more retro. I haven't seen her. And She-Ra is out. And Hordak.
I knew She-Ra's coming. And Hordak looks kind of weird. It's like they didn't paint his face at all.
FFEII.
So, Play Arts Kai. We haven't talked about Play Arts Kai in a while. They're doing a Crisis Core Zack.
Yeah.
And
I thought they already did him.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I
always
guess
like,
it will be new for the new remake.
so. Yeah, this one is just now going up for pre-order. This is their old scale. This is like that 10-inch scale. So again, Play Arts
cool.
Kai. Yeah, Play Arts Kai is they make great figures. It's just that scale makes them really like kind of a barrier, to be honest.
Yeah, I got 4 of them. I got 4 Kai.
I have 2.
I got Deadpool. I got Venom. I've got Joker. I've got Arkham Harley. And what's the other one I got? I can't ever remember. I don't know. Yeah, Joker, Deadpool, Harley.
See, yeah, no, he's Jedi. He is 10.8 inches tall. He's gonna retail for $154.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
At least
Like,
they didn't go up.
yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I think they were way cheaper before I got interested in them.
Now, Jedi had asked about the Bring Arts. We're going to talk about those Bring Arts because there's an Aerith and Tifa that are coming out. And the aesthetic on these, like, as somebody that's owned a couple Play Arts Kai, I like, they were always, like, kind of hyper-realistic. They had, like, that Advent Children kind of art aesthetic to them. These are smaller and a little bit cheaper. These are coming in about $92 each, but
What a deal!
Yeah, these are 5.3 inches tall now. But it's undeniable, these look like ripped out of like the PlayStation era Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, the art, the 3D models. They had like 4 different models in that game.
Yeah.
These are the cutscene version.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had the simplified version, and then they had the cutscene version of the simplified version, and the battle version.
They're come with a sword that's like cut in half, and like a little C-clip that you can stick on her.
Right. For $92, I don't think that this is a good value. These look fantastic. It looks like there's some good stuff going on here. I'd be curious to see a review as far as like how pliable her dress is, like what kind of leg articulation you get.
If you are a Sigma collector, it makes sense. This is what they come with, and that's their price. They high as shit.
Yeah, but Figma still comes with more stuff. Like
sometimes.
Yeah, you get like 1 extra face. You get
not a lot of hands.
Yeah, I it would be generous to say you get 3 sets of hands because you get the perfect. Like Aerith is a character that you'd want to have like magic effects with.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Does she have Tifa come with like a punching effects or impact effects?
It just fell.
Yeah, she comes with even less stuff.
Wow, and both of them are the same price?
Yeah, $92, man. Yeah, and you're right. She should have come with like effects pieces.
Mm-hmm. I got 0 desire.
Matt's gonna buy that anyway.
If these were half the price, I would be interested. But for what it is,
1/3 of the price.
Yeah.
If GameStop gets them, there's a chance.
True.
That's possible. Now we get into our Todd corner. So we're gonna talk about his DC Multiverse Gaming Wave. I want the Scarecrow. That's the only one of these I want.
I want the Scarecrow. I kind of want the Red Hood, but then I need that weapons pack he did.
Yeah.
Does he have trigger hands?
Yes, he does have trigger hands.
So
does Joker.
The end of life Joker here.
I have that Joker. This is just bloodied and has the sword. I do recommend that Joker mold. It is very good.
This look pretty cool.
Yeah, I bought the first one they made. With the
Okay,
did he come with a gun? He did come with a gun.
He came with a gun and he came with chattering teeth.
Go to Red
He's
Hood.
gonna get Jason Todded.
I don't know what's up with these flame effects for Red Hood though.
Okay, there's some reason. For some reason, they're making Jason a mystic character now. That's one of the reasons I'm not even. I was gonna get that Arkham. I was gonna get the Gotham Knights game, but now all the stuff that they use just. Again, Red Hood now is a mystic user. I don't get it.
Yeah, and he's huge.
He had guns in the game, though, right?
In that game, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have the GameStop exclusive version of that. Okay, that's.
Oh no, I mean the new game that's coming out.
That's
Oh
what
yeah, no, Arkham Knights. He's got guns.
Oh, that's
in
what
the
I'm
game,
thinking.
he's got guns, but he's still a mystic user. But
Yeah, this looks.
that looks
that
awesome.
Scarecrow that looks
Fantastic.
awesome.
I wish he had like the longer syringes on the fingers, but other than that, this is really badass looking.
So I guess he's so detailed they couldn't afford to put accessories in there.
Actually, that was
Or
one of
the
the few
accessories
ones
went to the other.
I regret not getting that the first version of that Scarecrow that came out that GameStop had.
That was good.
It was that and the Robin I never could find.
DC Collectibles, or
Yeah, the DC Collectibles. I got the.
I didn't like that Scarecrow.
But I got that Red Hood, and I also got the Nightwing from that series, which were awesome.
I think the only figures in that line that I liked was Red Hood, Batman, and Harley. Everything else seemed. The Arkham Knight was just terrible because it didn't have darts and wings.
Oh, I got the Arkham Knight from that too. I forgot.
And Robin, his friggin' hood or something ripped off.
Yeah, the pliables on there, they weren't the most durable.
They were not. I mean, everything. The figures felt like they should have been worth more than they were because of the paint. But yeah, they were not meant to be played with.
So 3-0, we're going to go from DC to Marvel. They announced their DLX Iron Spider. All we have right now are renders, but it is coming. This one will be interesting to see. But we'll go right to one where we actually have pictures. 3-0 is also coming out with a War Machine. So this is the Mark II War Machine. And we get some pictures here. This is up for pre-order now. It's coming in. The retail for this is $99. So this is, now, no mistake, this isn't the biggest figure. It's about 7 inches tall.
But
you get the articulation, the detail, the accessories. Like you're getting like the repulsor effects.
I can't afford that right now, but I'm sure that does look good.
oh, the superhero landing, his head can actually look up a bit. That's my main problem. When a character can do that, but their head doesn't look straight, that drives me up the wall.
Nah.
Isn't that right?
Bevy of hands, a stand, four blast effects. Yeah, again,
Cool.
no space in my collection for it, but yeah. All right, now we're gonna get into our Marvel Legends stuff. First and foremost, we get a look at the retro, well, at least the X-Men cartoon series Mystique. T, I feel like you've got a lot to say about this one, because this one, of all the retro figures, is kind of potentially the laziest. First of all,
it was an uproar on Twitter because Dan sent out a tweet apologizing that on the back of the packaging, it's a completely different toy
Yeah.
Like they show that she has double jointed elbows. The shoulder proportions are better than this, and it looks like it has a more detailed upper torso. As you can see, the six pack, the torso looks better. But if it actually, I never seen that picture.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I never saw that picture of hers. I always knew that it was the Walgreens one just repainted. So, but if I would have saw this, that would have tricked me into pre-ordering. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's false advertising." I'm like, you didn't ever see this until they show the box package.
I bet when X-Men 97 comes out,
Mm-hmm.
they go hard with an X-Men, a retro X-Men wave.
Yep. I
And
feel
I
like they intended to use that body, but for whatever reason, just like what I said about Crasher, they changed their mind to be cheaper because they're trying to save money on everything.
They took the Baby Hulk from the Old Man Logan set, and I mean I can't fault them on that because it makes sense, but they changed that to Nightcrawler. Yeah.
I can't say it's terrible, but just go in knowing that's the same old female body that they've been using over and over again.
It's like if you don't have a Mystique, this is an opportunity, but I don't think it's going to be your best opportunity to get representation of her.
The Walgreens one was still better. I mean, it had the half-changed face.
Yeah.
And I'm just not a fan of the cell shading.
I don't like it either.
I get what they're going for, but this is so niche. It's like,
yeah,
it's nowhere near as good as the Transformers cell shading they did a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, that was the best that I think Hasbro's ever done.
Like I could barely tell that it's cell shaded, to be honest.
Sorry, that's an easy pass.
Oh, good. Yeah. Next up, we got an interesting one, and it's interesting for a couple reasons. We get a yellow Daredevil, but the way that this is going to be offered is, I think, a first for Marvel Legends, and it's a little bit of a concern. So there's Marvel Unlimited, and it's their digital comic subscription service. They sent out kind of like this solicitation, and this is going to be offered through Marvel Unlimited. So what do you guys think about this?
Didn't they do a silk like this last year?
I don't recall.
I don't know how she was released. The second release they did, it was like a fan book.
Yeah, I mean it's Yellow Daredevil. I've got one. It's shelf warmed. It's not. Yellow Daredevil is not a high demand. It's not the new Netflix colors. So
yeah.
Or Disney Plus.
So you know what? Fine.
I'm not mad.
How much? Don't need to buy that, and I think that's a re-release of the old one anyway.
Yeah, it looks pretty. If you look at the hips, it looks very, very dated.
It's
this
not
is
on,
the only picture.
It's not on the bullseye body. It doesn't have butterfly joints.
Only picture?
That's the only picture that they have.
It has a price?
Doesn't have a price.
I'm not mad. I don't even care about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
next up, I actually have to open my email. So this one is coming from Hasbro Pulse. There was an update that went out that lets all the backers know that the Galactus is getting ready to ship, and that we have until the end of Friday, September 30th, to update our shipping addresses. So when the Sentinel went out, it was just a matter of weeks when they said, hey, update your shipping address. We're going to be sending that out. So I imagine the first couple weeks of October, you're going to start seeing folks getting their Galactuses in. So
I'm safe.
Anybody pre-order him?
Well, I had the email.
Oh, well, I got you know,
I could not afford him, nor do I have the shelf space.
I really don't know what I'm gonna do with Mike. I have the Fantastic Four now, but yeah, I don't know where exactly I'm going to put it. So it's gonna
on
be
the bar.
I could put it on the bar. On that note, we are getting a new HasLab tomorrow. So at 11 o'clock Eastern time, they're going to be revealing a Ghost Rider HasLab. So what does that mean? Are we going to get like a very elaborate Johnny and the bike, or are we going to get something bigger? What do you think, Dave?
Dang it, there went Terry. Main rumor is that it's Robbie Reeves, which was the Ghost Rider in the car, who's been a part of the Avengers. He was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Personally, I would rather it be Danny Ketch which was the Ghost Rider from the 90s, and with a bigger bike. No, he had a bulkier bike. That I would really like, but for HasLab, they're probably going to go again to the Robbie Reeves and do like the full car, the Hell car.
I think for 250, it's going to be a car and a bike, and it's going to be 2 Ghost Riders at first, and then the more you put in, it's going to be like different versions.
So you think they'll do like a bunch of light effects for the car?
I would love to see light effects.
Yeah, they'll probably put some LEDs in it. But
and they'll probably have, hopefully, and pinless joints and a bunch of hands and flame effects.
The Cosmic Ghost Rider,
like Rachel and Danny Ketch, the second Ghost Rider.
I'd say like the Cosmic Ghost Rider was one of the best sets Hasbro, in my opinion, has ever put out for a vehicle. I was saying, like, in my opinion, I think the Cosmic Ghost Rider is one of the best sets that Hasbro has ever put out for like a budget.
I actually like the Ghost Rider on the flaming motorcycle myself. I mean, Cosmic was good.
I never got them.
The flaming motorcycle one?
Yeah, I was waiting for it to be on clearance, and I never saw that.
That's actually was one of my first repaints, was repainting that bike. I was very pleased with it.
I think if they do a Ghost Rider with integrated LEDs, that could be something really special.
The Punisher pack was good too. That was a big bike, and he came with a lot of accessories and weapons.
So if you want a Ghost Rider, just look up what the Mezco Ghost Rider is going to be. Oh my god!
So, I guess before, like, we haven't seen anything from this yet. It's interesting that they're doing, and this is actually our last thing on the docket for tonight. Ghost Rider, kind of has been absent from Marvel Media. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the last time we saw Ghost Rider in film form. I don't really think he's been that big of a force in the comics right now. What do you guys think the success?
They've got a new Ghost Rider comic going on right now.
If the price is low enough, if we're getting 1/12 scale car, people are going to jump on that, especially if it has lights.
Yeah, if it's a vehicle, I think. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say to T, when you say the price is low enough, what are you envisioning as that ideal price?
Somewhere between 200 and 250.
I think 200 is the sweet spot for a HasLab, to be honest.
I'm just thinking because regularly with the motorcycle, that's $40, but now with their new pricing, it should be like 45 to 50. And a car, 1/12 scale car with extra flame effects, I'm imagining it's going to be way more than that. That Fortnite motorboat is like
it's $80.
$80. I imagine it's no way it's going to be. It's minimum is going to be 200.
Here's the thing: if they're smart about it, it's got to be under $250 because people just dropped $400 on the Hiss Tank pack, and I think that was part of one of the things that killed the Rancor was they just put that right after a heavy duty Kickstarter. One of the things that killed Riv's lightsaber, it was going there right there with the Hiss Tank.
Well, I think the other thing too with Rev's lightsaber was that they did the Kickstarter at the start of the series, and it didn't have time to conclude.
Oh, I'm just saying that they need to time these well. Starsaber, for example, when they dropped the Starsaber Kickstarter, was like in the middle of nothing going on. They waited till Galactus had been paid off. People got a couple paychecks in their book. They did that. That was hitting and actually, this Starsaber is a good example because it was a low-cost Kickstarter, low-cost HasLab compared to. So that would also be a good parallel for this. If this is a mid-range HasLab, people will be like, okay, I can do that. But if it's another Galactus at $400, no, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen unless it's like freaking, as he said, like 3 Ghost Riders, a car and a bike, and turns out it's like a whole Ghost Rider. Oh, we'll throw a horse on there too, and the Phantom Rider.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see like what they show. I think the thing I appreciate about the HasLabs is that it's very surprising. You know, it's always kind of a mystery until you see it. Like when we saw that like I think like the Sky Striker, that one got funded. Everybody was like, well, I really wish this was a classified one. And then we got the Hiss Tank, and I think the Hiss Tank, in my opinion, has been the best like value for money and them pulling out all the stops.
And I wish I could have afforded that Hiss Tank. It hit right when all this plumbing BS was happening.
Well, at the very least, there you probably will have some offers on the table when it comes out.
Oh, I know.
And at retail, you're not going to be paying that inflated.
No, remember we talked about that retail ad we saw. It was just the Hiss Tank for $400, and they pulled away all the figures. No,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people in the community that are like,
I know.
Hey, look.
The Hiss Tank was $300.
Yeah, and I definitely think that the Hiss Tank was a good value, and it kind of shows that they're learning. I mean, my criticism of Hasbro is that they constantly compete with themselves. Like, I think if you're a Hasbro collector, you're collecting multiple lines. I don't know too many people in the collecting community that are just like, yeah, I just stick with one Hasbro line and that's it. I think the bulk of us all have some of these, and
all I can say is thank God that Zord was not a freaking HasLab.
Oh my God, that would have been disastrous. I think if they had done that as a HasLab, it would have ruined all the goodwill they had.
They knew that. I thought because of the price, it would be better.
I did too, and that's why, like, again, I'm glad to get my money back on what I spent through Pulse, and if what I get from GameStop is trash, then then I return it, and then if the NFT one comes out and they haven't fixed anything, I just will sell that as a rarity item down the road. I won't even bother to open it. But yeah, Hasbro, I think, is their own worst enemy in terms of competition and distribution. I mean, the past few months have been kind of rough for Transformers because they had 3 exclusive lines all competing against each other. You had the buzzworthy Bumblebee stuff come out at the same time as the Velocitron and the Wrecker stuff and the Legacy waves. So you had 4 lines competing against one another. It's like they need to learn how to space things out a little bit and assess what their customers collect, and figure out a way to deliver this stuff so it's more of like, hey, we're going to trickle this out year round, that rather than bog you down all at once. And then also our distribution kind of sucks, so if you don't buy it, there's a good chance you might miss out on it forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, it's funny, like, you guys ever go back and like watch videos of like Toys R Us and different stores and just the way things used to be for like mainline figures?
No.
So it's funny, I in my suggested feed for YouTube, I believe it's Boris from Ages 3 and Up. He has his own channel, like the Raging Nation, I think it was. And it was a toy hunt he did around the time of Dark of the Moon. And he like goes into a Toys R Us and just, yeah, again, this was like what, 2011 when Dark of the Moon came out, and just seeing how many figures they had on the pegs. Like, just thinking of a time where you could go into a store and you just, you could just be like, yeah, I want that Nitro Bumblebee, and you could just drive to the store and count on it being there, And now it's like Legacy Wave 2. Like it's like I'm like definition of insanity. I have half of it. I need Knockout and I need Wild Rider. I have Elita 1 and Tarantulas. And I just, for the life of me, I can't, I'll see somebody on TFW say, oh yeah, I found Legacy Wave 2 at this Target in Nottingham, and I get there and just everything's gone. And they're only like putting out like, one each.
Now, have any of you guys gone to any Macy's, and if they've had their little Toys R Us display?
I have not heard good things about it.
Yeah,
I might go check it out. Because there's a Macy's in the Hartford Mall, and also just I haven't stepped foot in a mall in a year. So,
Tim was showing a couple pictures of one, I guess, near his house, and he said it was, if you had little kids, it's great, but anything else, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So.
I guess, man, that's like I think a good topic for another episode is like, at what point do we accept that like that retail magic is gone? Like it used to be like there was like kind of like something magical about going into a store, and it's just funny like living vicariously through like some of these old toy hunts. And there's a really good channel on YouTube. It's called My Retro Life. And it's kind of funny because it's like back in the day you would see people in stores and malls and stuff, and they would have like camcorders on them, and you're like, God, it's so annoying. But nowadays it's like I'll go back and I'll be like, man, that it's great having this footage, stuff that like I forgot about. And this guy, his name's Tyler Esposito. His dad was like one of those people that just constantly had his camcorder on him, and he would videotape everything. He like videotaped every console launch when he bought the stuff. His son, the guy Tyler now, this is his channel, but he took all his dad's home movies and just it's incredible the stuff he captured, like launches all these consoles. And he has footage of them going into Toys R Us and KB and buying and Funko Land and Babbage's and buying these games, and it's just nuts how different it was.
The good old days.
The good old and
The good old days.
I guess like we're excited to go to RetroCon. It's like I think conventions, and I guess I'll end here, is conventions are like that last bastion of magic for retail. Like I feel like every time I've been to a TF-Con or any sort of Comic Con, Awesome Con's another one, it's like you get a little bit of that magic, like when you see like all the stuff in the dealer room, and it just stretches, as far as the eye can see. Like that is that little bit of bastion of magic that takes you back to like the old days of retail.
Well, it's just right now. It's just, I would say it's a crapshoot because There's now 3 of us. I go into a Target. I either see stuff from. I almost never see new stuff. I either see no stuff or I see stuff. So
from the spring.
yeah.
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 Oh well.
Another topic for another.
Another
You know what
topic
I'd like?
for another
What I'd love to do is go and in one episode of Figure Action, we just go and we watch some of these old toy hunts and just kind of talk about, what it is, what our memories were. Because I will end on this. I remember places like Lionel Kitty City and like the old school Toys R Us. There was another toy store that I remember too. It wasn't KB, but it's just these memories I have from the late 80s, the mid to late 80s and early 90s of these places being like larger than life. And, it was floor to the top of the aisle, and then when you see one of those videos and it validates, like you're not remembering this through rose-colored glasses. That's how it was. Man, is that a good feeling? Like, and it's like I don't have kids yet, but we're planning on having kids next year, and it's just, to me, it's just kind of sad that my kids and a lot of like my nieces and nephews, they're never going to get to experience that, and it makes me sad a little bit, I don't know how you guys get. I mean, I know you guys have kids, so it's just it just makes me sad a little bit. They don't get to have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, my son's getting ready to turn 18, and he, even when we were together, or when we became a family, I mean, he was never really interested in that type of stuff, and it was all electronics. And like you said, when you go through, you see those moments online, or your own experience when you open that new game console or something. You actually went and looking for it, or you were in line. I mean, I remember getting the original Xbox when I was up living in New England, and going into the Toys R Us up there, and there was 2 sitting. I was like, oh, this is fantastic, and playing Halo for the first time. And now
I got to ask you this: do you remember the smell of opening those boxes?
Yes. Yeah, and it's similar, like some reviewers that, like, there's one, I think there's reviewers like when you have the same experience people say when they open that fan service for the first time, and then it's that just, whether it's the texture, or the grease on it, or things that there's that scent, but opening something new for the first time, it's just it's that feeling, and like you're saying, going out and actually finding it. What's that?
I was just flashing back when I was talking to my kid, my little one, and I was talking about if I was going to clear out my collection, I'd give her all my Harley Quinns, and she's like, "But Dad, why do I need action? I shouldn't have action figures. I'm a kid."
I have this strong feeling that my father-in-law is going to make the kids be like sports fanatics, and I'm gonna have like nothing in common with them.
Hey, like I said, if you've seen my kid, I'm either raising a pink Power Ranger, or I'm living the prequel of The Craft. That's what's going on in my house.
I think this is a good place to wrap it up for tonight. I do want to have that conversation. I want to have an episode where we just go through and watch some of these old toy hunt videos of people who are in like Toys R Us and Lionel Kitty City. Man, I miss Lionel Kitty City. Lionel Kitty City, I have some good memories I'd love to talk about. But I know we're over. We ran a little bit late. I want to thank everybody who popped in to that chat and hung out with us tonight. You guys are awesome. We love you guys. Everybody who smashed that like button, if you haven't already, now is a great time to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and we'll see you all on the next one. Mike, thank you for popping in. Pleasure having you with us tonight. And yeah, we will see you all on the next one, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, next Thursday here on the Figure Action YouTube channel. Peace out, bye-bye, and have an awesome weekend.
You're awesome.
Later, guys.
We love you. Laters.